Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna go through 5 things, or maybe 6 things about the Tesla that I wish I'd known before I bought the car. First thing is, of course, when you take delivery of the car, you want to make sure that all the panel gaps and all the quality issues, the trim pieces and everything is actually in line with how it's supposed to look. And me, in my excitement, I kind of did not really do that. I did it on the interior, but I didn't do it a lot on the exterior, and that's kind of things that I've noticed after a while, that some things do not really line up. For example, we have this. This is probably the most annoying thing. You can see all the flies here. It's super hot today. But you see this panel gap here, and I know that you can lift it up. Let me just show you how you might be able to fix it, but I've tried that before and it didn't really work. Let's open up the front and let me show you how you can fix this if you have this problem yourself. So you want to screw these out, you want to screw this down where if you want this side to be further up, or same thing here, you want to screw this in if you want this side to be further down. But I already have it in the furthest in. I can even take this off. I've tried that as well. Doesn't matter. If I close it, you can still see that there is a clear gap on that side, which is really annoying. I've seen a video how they actually solve that problem. That is, you take the hood, you pop the hood, and then in the corner there is a bolt that you can adjust, and you can basically adjust the whole hood and trying to fiddle with that to get the alignment right. Second thing that I have an issue with my car is that this panel, this trim piece right here, you can see that it doesn't really line up here. It's a little gap here, and this is also something that I know how to fix. It's not that big of a deal. I've just been lazy. I haven't gotten to that yet, and honestly it doesn't really bother me that much. Since it's a quick fix, basically what you do, you open this up, you roll the windows down, and then you can actually move this up and down, this trim piece. But I think the easiest way is to just push whatever piece is further up, you want to push that down. So that's what I'm going to do, and see if I can fix that at some point. Now, for the second thing that I wish I'd known before I bought the Tesla, that's on the inside. So let's jump in here. And it has to do with this screen right here. Now, I know that a lot of people like the super simplistic interior here, but me, for at least some functions, I want to have physical buttons, because to me it's not just a convenience, but it's also more of a safety thing. So if I'm driving here, if I want to adjust the AC, for example, I have to look down that I actually hit this symbol right here, and then go up here and then do all of this, as I'm sure everybody knows. But there is a lot of steps, and these distances you have to actually look on the screen to be able to hit those correct functions or inputs. So what I would love to have is, instead of having a screen like right here, I would love to have a separate piece down here, for example, with knobs for just the AC, because the AC is one of these things that you adjust all the time, and it's kind of one of these things that should be almost intuitive. You should feel when you're changing the AC on your car, and not have to look and precisely hit the right button. And another thing with that is, if the road is just a little bit bumpy, you're gonna have issues hitting the right buttons, because your finger is gonna be going all like this. So you want to have something to hold on to, maybe a dial with a button inside of the dial as well, to make it as easy as possible. Now, for the third thing, that has to do with the 110 volt charging. And I wish, before I bought the car, that I wasn't so freaked out or worried about charging at home at 110 volt, because honestly it hasn't been a problem at all. All I do is just plug in the car at night or in the afternoon, whenever I'm done driving for the day, and I let it charge overnight. And I almost all the time, every morning, I come up with a full charge. Now that's for my needs, obviously, and this is going to be different for what type of driving you do and what type of commute you have every day. But for me, I wish I wasn't so worried about the home 110 volt home charging, because it honestly has not been a problem for me. And if I need faster charging, obviously I just go to a supercharger and plug it in and go from 20 to about 90 in about 25 or 30 minutes or so, depending on what type of charger you're using. Now it's getting really windy here. I think there's a storm coming in every day now, and during summertime you have mornings, clear skies over there, and then in the afternoon these clouds are always coming in, and you can almost count on a shower every single day at some point. So I think we're on the fourth thing or something like that. I'm not really sure. But if we talk about the interior here, I'm really happy with how this interior has held up over, I think I have about 5,000 miles on the car now, and I don't see any sign of wear or anything. But what I wish I knew before I bought the car was that I wish I knew how easy these are to keep clean. And if I knew that, I probably would have gone for the white interior, because white on white, it would just look really clean. I like the black interior. I do wish they had some more alternatives, maybe some brownish style. Kind of wish I would have went with the white, because it looks really clean, especially when you have a white car. And I just didn't go with it because I thought it would be really hard to keep clean every time going in and out, going to the beach and then sitting on the seats. I thought that would be an issue, but I've talked with a lot of owners that have white seats, and they don't have a problem with any type of stains or anything like that. Some even put some PPF on the seats so that you only have to wipe it down once if it happens to get dirty at some point. Maybe for the next car, maybe I'll choose white for that, but I'm really happy with the black as well. It looks a little more, I would say, toned down. Obviously, if you have black, white on white might be too much white, but other than that, really happy with the interior. And I'm going to show you the seat here as well after 5,000 miles, what it looks like. You can see this looks brand new. There's no sign of wear anywhere on this seat. And I also have these 3D mats specifically made for the Model 3. If you're interested in any of these accessories here, this, for example, the matte screen protector right there, or anything that you see here, the wheels, they're all linked down in the description if you want to go and check that out. The next thing I want to talk about is what I wish I knew before I bought the Tesla Model 3, is just how fun and addictive this car is to drive. I was a little worried, so I was thinking, the cars I had in mind when I bought the Tesla Model 3 was either I go with a BMW M2 competition, or I go with a Tesla Model 3. And I kind of, as I said before, it was a lot of a business decision, because if I bought an M2 competition, there's not really a lot you can modify on it. Yes, you can do exhaust and stuff like that, but it's already a very complete package. It's lowered, it has different suspension, different wheels, different engine, everything is already set up for performance. And that's kind of the reason why I bought the Stano Range Plus, to make content with. I wanted to do all the modifications, the tiny little changes on the car myself. And I was a little bit worried about the driving experience of the base Model 3. Would it be as fun to drive as an M2 competition, for example? I'm not sure. The M2 competition is a very special car, and of course super fun to drive as well. But this, the Stano Range Plus, if you're looking for some fun car that you can accelerate at every red light in city traffic, you have a very fun car in the Stano Range Plus. And that driving experience in general just was a little bit surprising. It's a lot quicker than I thought it would be. At least it feels a lot quicker than it is. And it's also very planted, since you have the batteries down low, so the center of gravity is super low, and it brings the handling out for even the Stano Range Plus. I took this to the track, and I have a video on that as well if you want to go and check that out. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about, that really, this is probably the biggest surprise when it comes to buying a Tesla Model 3, is that, or any Tesla, I guess, is that every time you buy a Tesla, you kind of enter this family of Tesla fans, whatever you want to call it, and it's very easy to upset Tesla owners. It doesn't really matter what critique you have of the car, there's always going to be a lot of pushback to any type of negative stuff you say about the car. And this, to me, is not a good thing for Tesla. It's not a good, people who do that, they're not helping Tesla out. if I owned a car company like Tesla, for example, I was building cars like this, what I would care about is not really the praise and the admiration, all the good things that people say about the car. I want to listen to what is bad about the car, because that will give me the opportunity to improve the product that I'm working on. And I can't do that if all I'm getting is just, this is the best car I've ever had. There are no flaws whatsoever. So that's kind of a really big surprise when I started making videos about about Teslas, is that you kind of have to expect a lot of opposition as soon as you start talking about something negative with the car. And as I said in the beginning of this video, I love this car. This is definitely the best car I've ever owned. And as you can see, I'm a huge Tesla fan as well. You can get this t-shirt down below in the description, by the way. So I have really nothing hugely bad to say about the Tesla Model 3. It's a great car. I think the infrastructure works. The supercharger, if you need charging, they're kind of solving that problem, but the only thing that I kind of wish I did was to get the long range. I could still have done all the mods that I have on the car here and make content with that, but I would get a little longer range, and that's something to consider if you have a longer commute every day. The Standard Range Plus is great for just driving in the city back and forth. I do very short trips. I just go around here in South Florida, basically. I don't do any longer trips every day, and that's enough range for me. But if you're going further than that, you really want to consider getting the long range or the performance if you want all the mods already done for you, obviously. So those are a couple things that I just wanted to mention about the Tesla Model 3, and things that I wish I known before before I bought the Tesla Model 3. Maybe it was helpful to you, but one thing I want to emphasize here is make sure you check the quality before you actually drive off the lot, and check all these pieces, the trim pieces, the door trim right here. You can see there's a little gap right here as well. The panel gaps, I've heard a lot of people having big troubles with this panel gap. I don't have that. I think it looks pretty good on both sides, so it's not a big deal for me. But the biggest issue that annoys me is, of course, the front lip, or the front frunk right here. This is a little bit too big of a gap for me. I'm gonna try and have that sorted somehow. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.